No, but for real. Welcome again to my tens and tens of friends. Today I am trying something new. I am on break, so I am going to do my Reddit live. Again, welcome again to my tens and tens of friends. It's me, teacher TJ, and today I will be reading a Reddit post. Today's Reddit post is titled Students Hate Me, and it is in the teachers subreddit by user clear-photo-6869. So let's get into it. This post says, oh, ignore the little mark on my hand. We're going to put lavender on that just to see how it heals, and I will share that journey with you all. Also, one thing about lavender is it really does clear up old scars, new scars, and helps things to heal faster. Again, if you are a member of mine, you have heard me say, I am not a doctor by any means. I just can tell you what worked for me. And lavender definitely helps to clear up scars. So, this Reddit post starts by saying, "So I am in my second year teaching, and we just had our first day. I had my whole day where kids told me they hated me, and and another thing is I don't read the Reddits. I only read them live. So this one says they hated me in my class. Well, the students told them that they hated them in the class all day. I'm gonna stop right there and say sometimes people don't realize that teachers have feelings too. Like, imagine you doing your best work and somebody is like, "I hate you." Dang it! I'm here to make you great, but you hate me. Huh? So it'll be an interesting school year considering it is only August and this was 6 days ago. So this was in July, which nowadays it seems like they're going back earlier and earlier. But they go on to say, um, I had my whole day where kids told me they hated me in my class all day. They would scream profanities at me and each other, and this is every class. What do I do? This is my first day, and I am already dreading going back. Also, no classroom support or anything in my room. Dang. Um, I'm not allowing profanities. Excuse me, a little bit about myself. I have worked in preschool, elementary, junior high, and high school. When I worked in the high school, the principal found it okay to allow the children to cuss or curse at during conversations with him. It was okay to him. So yeah, it happens. I would say definitely that teacher would need some support in the classroom. Sounds like I don't know if this is their first day ever teaching or if this is their first day back. One thing's for certain is when you are teaching, support is definitely necessary for I think for a new teacher, although it may not be in the budget. I would say don't take it personal if your students tell you that they hate you, because even in preschool, I have had my students say, they never said I hate you, but it would be like, don't talk to me, type vibes. And they'd be like, okay. I don't take anything my preschoolers say that's derogatory to heart. I know that I am here to do my best work and I'm going to expect the best work out of them. Now, if they are being rude and mean, then there's timeout and stuff that I use in my classroom. But as a elementary or primary education, you can't put those kids in timeout. So kudos to you all and all of the work that you do, especially without any support. But now I will go on to read some comments, and you all can chime in at any time. And I will do my best to reply to my tens and tens of friends. Feel free to join in. Inspector Kowalski says they don't hate you, they hate authority. Facts. And they've made up their mind about you before you ever walked in the room. True. Okay, because the first day, how you hate me already? You ain't even got your first test back. But be firm, and with every boundary and routine, call a parent for every piece of disrespect. I definitely second that because parents need to know. Without trying to do strikes or warnings for anybody who clearly meant to hurt your feeling. Accidents you can work around. You must not let them get the impression that respecting you is not important to the quality of their day. It should be, for sure. It's respect goes both ways, although in my childcare home, I don't try to be try to let the small stuff bother me. And for sure, I would definitely be reporting stuff like that to parents. Clear Dash Photo 6869, whom is the OP, says, thing is, a lot of parents don't care if I call, and that's sad. It's like, come on, parents, y'all got to give us a little bit of support. At least take a phone away or threaten to when your child gets home, when you hear that the teacher has, because it's, believe it or not, it's not even easy to call parents when children are tripping out because the day is still happening. So to step away from the desk and make a phone call to mom and dad is a big deal. Is, first of all, she doesn't have any, or he doesn't have any support in the classroom. So going to call parents is not that easy. So if you do receive a call or an email from a teacher, parents, please respond. Good grief. The Saget counts says, I embellish and tell parents things like, your kids said calling home was a waste of time, okay? Because you wouldn't do anything. Most parents don't want the school to think or know they are bad parents. And that is a good source of advice to you teachers out there. Yeah, your child said that when I told them I was going to call you because I tried to, rectify the situation by myself, and they said that you didn't care. Let's see how much you care. Traditional Dash Road says, start telling parents that there will be problems/consequences if they don't straighten up their kids. And one thing you can say is that they will have to stay at home. They may be suspended. And if the parents don't care about their behavior, they do care about them being at home. Because let's be honest, children in school gives parents a break if they're at home. Ben 76326 says, I agree with this. Even if you don't think there will be any serious consequences, you can dress it up a little bit while being honest. A line I like to use when contacting parents is, if the behaviors continue, I will escalate it to Tom's assistant principal, Miss Smith, to manage. Even if I don't expect much to happen, if I do have to refer them to the office, it makes it sound serious. Good advice. Country Successful 6621 says, it's your first day? What makes you think this? Didn't she said it happened? What you? Okay. Wise Dash Neighborhood 499 says, I had so many parents like this. I don't have good advice, but sympathize with you. And for me, if you watched any of my videos, you will hear me say I am blessed to have the parents that I have because they take my phone calls seriously. Although I don't try to make a lot of phone calls, they do take the calls that I do make seriously. And they do support me. And one thing about the great part about running my own home daycare is, if we're a team, and where we're not, go find another teacher. But overall, we're a team. So if I'm calling you, I need you to respond and I need you to take action. And that's sad. And you will see a lot of articles and a lot of videos online that show that teachers are getting burned out on having to teach and be disrespected and having no support. So parents, please, 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 please support these teachers when they call, when they give you a call at home. Because back in my day, you gonna call my mama? Ah, please don't call my mama. And even my kids today, they'll be like, don't call my mama. All right, too late. I already sent the message. You're done for. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. I'm only calling if it's necessary. So if I call, definitely looking for support. Reasonable sector 792 says if any of them are in sports extracurriculars, I will also call coach. And I know that works because sometimes coach will make them run a few laps. Sometimes coach might even bench them. And parents, if you don't know what to do, that is a good one too. I said that in one of my other videos that, I am queen of giving my children everything so I could take it away. Call it a call it like not right or whatever you would like to. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not finna whoop you. I don't have time to be chasing my children. My kids are big. Ain't no way I'm finna be running around with a belt or talking about bend over while. And then I'm so sweet. If my kid cry, I'm crying. So I'm not even going to act like I'm going to whoop my kids. Not That's not a thing for me. But what I will do, let me get that phone. And I heard another parent say, I will take your charger. So you had an all right day. Let me get that charger. Because when that juice gone, it's gone. But none of y'all in here let them borrow the charger. Creative parenting is what I call it. You better have some tricks up your sleeve because these kids will embarrass you as a parent. I'm just saying. It's really disheartening to reach out to a parent only for them to say, this isn't my problem. You're the teacher. It will be your problem when I send them home. Let's be right. Let's just be kind to the teachers. It's a very hard job. Read we read that one. Leaf study says most of them have had many long weeks to themselves to do whatever they wanted. No boundaries, no authority. At in Indiana, I don't know about the rest of the states, but here in Indiana, what they're doing now is there is no phones. Absolutely no phones. It has gotten to the point where they said they are going to cut funding. So the teachers have to not they cannot allow the students to come into the classroom with their phones or their headphones or any of that. They let us know that at orientation. So yeah, you may have been able to stay up on your phone all day and just be on the phone at your free will, but it's out in Indiana. Which is, I'm like, yay on the one hand, because focus. Having cell phones wasn't a thing back in my day. But on the other hand, it gives me pause for the cause. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And it raises my parental anxiety because if something happened, my baby don't. It's like the phone gives parents a hope, a sense of security. Like if something happened, they'll call me. But they've gotten to the point where I don't even think they're supposed to have them in their lockers. So phones are may become a thing of the past, at least here in Indiana, because they have literally passed a law that the students cannot have phones in the classroom. So do with that what you may. Fiorentino Legal says she's probably right. Some of them do hate her. I don't even know her. Now, it may not be entirely her fault, but the ones who are acting up probably don't respect her, which is more of a problem. If she stops thinking about getting the kids to like her and starts thinking about earning their respect, that might be a good place to start. Mm. Um, Either might 1390 says might need more context than this grade level subject, and the OP response says middle school English. Middle school was not my cup of tea. Actually, middle, high school, junior high, none of elementary, none of that was my cup of tea, which is why I'm here in the child care, early education, because 61 comments says, I would have bet my left toe on this bet. 30-year middle school teacher here. Jolly Llama says, also, what kind of area do you teach? Inner city needs a different strategy than the suburbs. AJSDWDF says, like the person above said, it's hard to say much without more information. How much experience do you have? If this isn't your first year, are you doing something different than last year? What did you have them do? What's the school like? And well, no. The Exaspera says, OMG, what grade is this? Again, OP replies middle school. And I'm only going to be up here with y'all for about an hour with y'all. Clear Photo 6869, the OP says, they are, but I have realized my class is low on the totem pole of the school. Why? Ojitos 21784 says, how? It's a core subject. It's tested. Language skills are required for nearly everything. I taught arts in an inner city school where a lot of kids could barely read. Wow. Talk about low on the totem pole. And that's true. Like, come on now. Don't you want your child to learn to read? Please support me. Another thing I would like to add is a lot of times the teachers, my baby, a lot of times the teachers don't really, I'm gonna say care, but they cannot be concerned with how much a child likes them. So at my baby's orientation, her first day at school, the teacher, she met one of them and she said, all of the teachers, all of my last students, everyone says I'm me and I'm okay with that. And I like being me. And she was kind of a lot. Like I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad that, you know, not that we don't care as teachers if you think that we're mean, but we can't be too concerned. And I heard a teacher say that at the beginning of the year, it's okay if you don't like me. By the end of the year, they will begin to like the teacher. But at the beginning of the year, just know that I'm for real. We're going to learn, we're going to have fun, and I'm going to be here basically every day. So, with that in mind, do your best work. And it's understood, but I'll continue to read more posts or replies. Snow dash 42257 says, what does this mean? Second English school class, just assistance? I haven't heard of this. Dependent Art 7407 says it might be a literacy support class. The district I work at does this for ELL, that's English language learners, students. Slight AD 9127 says English as the second language or English. What is the second English language? And yay, yeah, no, don't bother replies and says, why is this? Which is okay, why does it matter? What really matters is this teacher clearly needs parents on board. Lucky Clarinet says, what do the other teachers do on your cohort? What do the other teachers on your cohort think? I would definitely communicate with them to see if they have any advice, right? Because their experience. I also have taught kids who have behaved similarly before, and it can be a lot. I definitely empathize, but it's only the first day. So much good is to come. And chaos. Consistency is one of the most important things in the classroom. I teach middle school too, and they are going to give you even when you don't deserve it. But eventually, most will follow the expectations you laid out when you set the standard and tone for your room. Set a routine and follow it in class. Don't let the students bait you into a power struggle. I have fallen for this, and the adult never comes out looking good. And they're going to always want the last word. My advice is to, especially at that age, my grandma used to have this plaque on her wall that said, Lord, teach me when to shut my big mouth. And because in middle school, I was told a lot that I just had to have the last word. And I'm like, I'm just trying to explain my point. I used to pray that prayer faithfully till I learned to shut my big mouth. And yeah, middle schoolers do have a lot to say and will definitely want to get the last word. My advice is to let them have the last word, because at the end of the day, you have to be the bigger person. Some kids will continue to be difficult, to which I suggest to document their behavior, write them up, give a consequence, etc. I know this advice seems kind of random all over the place and not really about management. It's essentially to keep yourself cool and regulate for your own sake. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah. KTG528 says, is there more context to this? Why are your kids saying they hate you and your class all day? And that's, yeah, because even substitute teachers, when they come in, the kids don't tell them they hate them. But more replies to this would be, how, nope. So, yeah, that was good one. So, Sean X50 says, remind them that they will hate the class next year when they have to repeat it. Good one. Okay, so love it. Puppies and Pixels says, LOL. When's the last time you saw anyone actually repeat a class? Admin just move kids along. That's true too. They don't. Outlandishness, not no, 1970 says, but they don't have to know that. That's true too. King XDDD says they figure it out pretty quickly. Outlandishness, no, 1970 replies and says, I work with upper elementary. They have not figured it out yet. We've been going on 6 years of this issue. Please don't tell them. House of Feather says, I used to cheat on word searches in first grade. So random. My teachers had me convinced I could get suspended for cheating. By wrong by, you could tell you used to cheat. But by the time I figured out she was lying, I was old enough that there were real consequences for cheating. CDH 4099 says, oh, they know it. If they're the top offenders, they know how the system. They're not new to the system, LOL. Fun answer 5505 says, start calling parents right there at the moment they do it, and have the students come to the phone and tell them what they said to you. You have to be a total hard A and nip that in the bud. That's a good idea. Like, let me see if y'all really don't care. Hold on. Let me get my phone. Puppies and Pixel says, yep, this exactly. Do it in front of them and in front of the class. Yep, just like you was over there cussing in front of the class. I'm over here going to call your mama and your dad in front of the class because what are we doing? Rabicon underscore Duck says, have done this before myself with seventh graders. I can attest to this working. Sounds like it. One girl had a massive attitude after I called her mom during class on speakerphone at the beginning while she was at work. All I ever had to do for the rest of the year when she started getting out of line was if she wanted me to call her mom again, was ask her if she wanted to call her mom again. The response was always as if life depended on it. She stopped and was what she was doing immediately. Second, second kid was a smart A. He thought he was clever until I had him doubt his mom and then I talked to her. Again, the first part of the call was on speakerphone in front of the entire class. If this kid could have evaporated from existence right in there, he would have. He was so embarrassed and also knew how deep the dog of was he just stepped in. Never heard a peep from him after that for the rest of the entire year. Both times, the parents at the start, they were on speakerphone and explained to them why I was calling them during the day of their work. After some discussion with kids, they asked to speak with them privately, which I was fine with. No one ever said anything in that class after that. Still had rough days from time to time, but everyone knew I was the teacher that would go there. And interestingly enough, behavior calmed down in other classes too, because word got around. Some kids this will work with perfectly, others it'll blow up in your face, especially if they have ODD, which is oppositional defiance disorder. Make sure you know what their levers are if you're going to do something like this with them. Good advice. So teach. Call mom and dad in front of the class because ain't nobody got time for that. You got to make sure y'all can breathe before y'all move on. I know whole pay God. I did this once. I was teaching a class on the Roman Empire using animated maps to show its growth. I capped it with, as you can see, it was enormous. To which a 12-year-old piped up and said, like my D. I called his mother on the spot. He was not inclined to repeat it. I'll assume it often backfires, but it worked wonders that time. I know that's right, because what, son? Mick P says, I wouldn't do it in front of the class. In my experience, the students often want to keep a facade of being tough and not caring in front of their peers. So discipline in this way would likely backfire. On the other hand, when you take them outside class, they tend to be a lot more sorry and worry a lot more about their parents. I say I would take them outside after calling if we have the issue again. In my experience, they are a lot easier to work with in that setting, and you are more likely to reach a resolution that have positive effects going forward. Finling Norwal 9161 says, I will get in trouble for violating student privacy if I did this. I love the idea though. Student privacy. These students be having so many not precautions, but safeguards to misbehave. It's crazy. Chair Cardigan says, what privacy? They have misbehaved in public and you are reporting their known behavior in public. There is no privacy issue here. Facts. School Teacher USA says, don't do it during class. Give them work during class, whether they do it or not. Call after school and stress everything they said. Document everything. Start writing kids up as examples. It will work. Bloody at first, but show them you mean business. 32-year vet here. The phone calls work, but you got to stay consistent and give 24-hour follow-up calls if they did better or worse. Tell the parents you'll give them updates in a day. The word will get around and they'll move on to another issue or another teacher. Do not let up. And about day 4 or 5, there will still be some. Move them to assigned seats far apart. It will all get better, but it is a grind at first. Mitch One Muse Prime says, I used this method once last year for the first time in 8 years, mostly. Beneficial Focus says most of these kids are like this because their parents don't give a about their behavior. Oh. And Joey Kamamanga says he gives an article and he says, read that, become familiar with it, document when necessary. Your admin may not love it, but it's the law and they have to follow it. See, and that's the thing. Believe it or not, teacher, there are a lot of laws that support us. So make sure that you get familiar with your state laws. Because, like I said, in the state of Indiana, I did a video recently of a teacher taking a kid's cell phone, and that teacher liked to fought that. I mean, that student liked to fought the teacher down to the ground for their phone back. I'm like, what he finna do? Go move a pack? Cause like, why is your phone that important? Everybody you need to see should be in school. And this was looked like an elementary school student, no more than junior high. And that having cell phones is something that the teachers won't have to worry about moving forward because, like I said, in Indiana, it is a law, no cell phone. But this is your golden ticket, but you cannot be afraid to use it. Remove kids from class. Make it the admin's problem for not creating school-wide culture and expectations, which would squash kids feeling like they could act like that. Additionally, the Supreme Court ruled in Tinker versus Desmonians, Desmond, Desmonds, that a student's freedom of speech ends when they are a substantial disruption in the classroom and or impede on someone else's rights, called the Tinker test. I like it. That's a shame that we have to pass laws now to. Oh, it's another law in Georgia that's the Parent Child Accountability Act because parents the that's not my problem. You the teacher, parents gotta stop. So it's now to the point where parents can become are responsible. They could be financially responsible. The kid has to be removed, and yeah, it's a mess now. And I think that was in my last video, and it gives more insight about the law or parent accountability law in Georgia. You may want to look that up. And again, I would say for teachers to become familiar with the laws in the state because you might have some support that you don't even know about. Two Dog Night says, I need tissue. This ring light be sending me through her eyes be watering, nose be watering. Give me some sunglasses on. But Two Dog Night says also, maybe an unpopular opinion, but no more get to know your stuff. Get to work. When you say second English class, I assume you mean a remedial reading resource kind of class for students who score below whatever standard your district has determined is acceptable. So they're going to hate you. Oh, so I get it. They come in with a chip on their shoulder because they like, they ain't smart enough to be in the regular English class. Who fault is that? You and your mama or your dad's? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. When I say I'm busy, I'm busy. I am a teacher, I am a parent, and I'm a content creator. And if you just a content creator, you know how crazy your schedule is. So we be busy and ain't nobody got time for that. So a student coming in with a chip on their shoulder because they're in remedial English, can you work with me so we can get you up out of here? Really? That's the whole goal if this is a remedial English class. But first, get some lessons in order that have some review purpose. Try to find out something interesting. At what age should juveniles be tried as adults? Something engaging for the parents to I mean, for the students to want to, and that's good. Make your class fun. Make your class interesting. Interesting. Make a student feel like, dang, I missed class. They was talking about the law. You know how much even boys like knowing about the law. You want to know about the law? Ask a male who, yeah, males tend to know about the law. Um, let's see. Second, get your first day of school procedures and policies and routines in order. Third, and perhaps this should be first, practice this response too. I hate you. It was all caps, sorry. Well, that's too bad, but it's actually excellent preparation for the workplace. Everyone has to work with or for people they dislike, and you have to learn to get the job done. I used to say, I can't remember kids like saying out loud, I hate you, but they would say something along those lines. And I would be like, just let's just say they do say I hate you. I would be like, well, I love you. And God does too. Or God is. And let's just make the best of this because you're gonna be here with me for quite some time. So let's just have fun. That's my teacher voice. It actually gets a little bit more kookier than that, but it works for me in my school. Uh-oh, yeah, I done lost the doggone thread. Not y'all combined them. Can we unstack this? Thanks. Um, some kids will continue to be difficult, which I suggest to document their behavior and write them up. And we're 36 minutes in. I am really going to try to stick and stay for an hour. Y'all can catch me in the replay. To my 10s and 10s, catch me in the replay. Uh, so, Fun Answers 5505 says start calling parents right there. I don't know. I think we already read that. Rubicon Duck says, nope, I think we read that one. And that one. Um, nope, we read that too. See, this where my editing comes in. And I don't think I'm gonna edit this. We're just posting this live because it's my first live. Proud of me. And we're just gonna leave it be. Okay. Just browsing 2022 says, bingo. We have something called the Teachers' Bills of Rights in our state. See, told y'all there's lots of laws to protect teachers, even if your principal don't know about them or does not mention them to you. Understand there are laws to protect you teachers because my kids are good kids. So why should my child miss the lesson because your kid is misbehaving and you don't want to correct them? Mm-mm. But there are laws for this. We have something called the Teachers' Bill of Rights in our state. It states that teachers have the right to have disruptive students removed from the classroom. I'm in a testing grade. The minute that a student continuously disrupt my ability to teach or stop others from having a peaceful environment, I get on the radio on them to have them removed. I guess that should say. I don't care if I have to call 4 times on the same students. I write them up and write documents, referrals. Document. Yo, teacher, to the kids that saying they hate you, document. That seems to be the going message here because you shouldn't have to take that. We're already not paid enough. Now we gotta have to be mentally and emotionally abused. I hate you is a strong word. Like I don't know if I ever heard. Listen, my kids are good kids, but they ain't no punks, okay? But let me just say, I don't think my kids I have ever heard them say, I hate you. I'm just saying, I'm just talking about mine. Embarrassed Tank 838 says, I'm not the most legal I should show y'all this word. Jurisprudence, informed person. Does this Arkansas Supreme Court decision give precedent to other states? I doubt it though. I think it's like each state, like that Georgia law. I don't think that's for. Let's see. That was a notification. Why is my child on a risky 80-mile drive? Why is it risky? I'm gonna have to call her. Are we speeding? What's going on? But I think each law differs from state to state. And Joy Manga says, I can imagine, but the person told me they were from Arkansas. Um, I read that. It was pretty long. Throw away 1 2 3 4 5 6 3 7 2 says, honestly, this may not be a popular solution, but I think you should just kick them out of class for that as quickly as you can. I don't I don't subscribe to kicking kids out of class. Why? Because we don't know what that kid is going through at home, why that behavior is that behavior. And no, it's not your job to raise the children. But I feel like when you suspend a kid or when you kick them out of the classroom, it's just a vacation. And then they're gonna come back with the same attitude or the same behaviors, and nothing was solved. So I don't particularly subscribe to kicking kids out of anything. But like I said, as far as like sports go, I do think kids who are misbehaving and on different sports teams, they should definitely be benched. Go and take a seat, watch us play. But you still got to come to workout. I mean, and try, well, not tryouts, but practice. And you could be the best on the team. But you're gonna bench. You're benched this game because you tripping. And who has time for that? We got to make teachers is not easy. It's not for the weak either. I'm not saying she is, but I don't think a kid yelling that they hate me. My days start with meditation and prayer. So I love me. That's probably what I tell us. I hate you. I love me. And you'll see how much I care for you once at the end of this class, once you pass and I help you learn to read. So throwaway with all the numbers says you deserve basic respect and not to be yelled at or sworn at anyone by anyone regardless of age or status. The other students deserve a classroom without this too, and that's another thing. It's like y'all don't understand when y'all allow y'all kids to be kids or start kidding and tripping out, basically is what I call it. If your kid in my class, my child, me and my kid got to go through a whole when they get home because you was tripping. And no, get y'all kids together, please. It's not fair to everybody in the classroom, not just that teacher. Because most good students or most respectful students don't want to hear your kid yelling at the teacher that they hate them. I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Send them to the office, send them to the library, to the nurse, to a different classroom, whatever. Someone might try to tell you that they don't do things that way and you can't, but they're wrong. If a kid refuses to leave, call and have them removed. Um, and my save them mentality would definitely be trying to like save those kids. Not for too long though, or at the cost of my own self respect, but I would definitely still be trying to stick and stay and not so much kick them out the classroom. Um, da 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 da. 55 says, for some, apathy might just cause them to escalate until you have to respond. I hate you. Might turn into I effing hate you, B. And now you have to do something. LOL. And Lambert 5 says, okay, some students you need to let them make their choice and then write them up. Quinzilla says, scream profanities back at them. And I would think we all had some teachers who would definitely cuss at you. Quit playing with them. They ain't the one, but the two. I'm not gonna play with you. Um, Boogie says, least unhinged responds on some days. LOL. Quinzilla replies, thank you. Uh, Competitive Boat 106 says, where is it already the first day of school in July? That's what I used to think till I moved to Indy. We start at the end of July. And then, in Illinois, they start in September. Jealous much? But we also in school beginning of June or end of May a lot of the time. So it all balances out. It just seems like a lot of schools, they still not in school yet. Competitive. Oh no, we just read that. Zesty Close Squirrel 55 says, that was my question. I don't go back until August 31st. Lucky you. First day of students is September 2nd. That's what I said. Yep, you must be like Illinois. Shout out to Stars Limonada. And they just said hugs with a bunch of hearts. And yeah, hugs to that teacher because you should not have to feel hated just because you decided to go to work today. Ride with Rue says, I am not taking feedback today. I am ignoring you, fidelity. I don't have anything to offer except to find your lane and stick to it. I am sorry. That stinks. I'm confused. I'm very confused about that. Lavender, the heretic, says, taught English ELA for the past 8 years and found that my best strategy for nonsense was just to say thank you. I hate you. Thank you. You're a B. Thank you. I hope you get fired again. Thank you. That's a mess I say because you're not gonna bother me. You a kid, you're not gonna bother me. You're not going to ruin my mood. I do have I have one girl. I don't know why that girl be yelling at me, but she do. She be stumping her feet and yelling. And I be like, would you like a hug? But what I'm not going to do is no, because now you jeopardize the other kids disrespecting you, and you also make everybody uncomfortable arguing back and forth with a kid. No, that sounds crazy. When I'm feeling sassy, it might go like, I hate you. Well, not as much as I hate myself. No, I would be like, not as much as I love myself. Finger heart. B, actually, I'm a witch, but I used to. But I see how you might get that confused. And for real, what that teacher said, you don't take it to heart. If you can, respond kindly. Um, Zesty Clothes Squirrel 55 says, WTF, why did you already have your first day of school in July? And then a lot of times too, for us who go back so early, we get 2 weeks during spring and winter break, and a lot of times those schools only get one. Um, F the says, and what did you do when they did this? This warned an immediate trip to the office, call home, and an appropriate consequence. If students see that you don't do anything about it, you set the groundwork for what they expect from you. They will act accordingly. Tomorrow, before class start, you need to talk about their behavior and set the expectations and consequences. If a student does not follow the expectations, respond with the appropriate consequence. If you show that you're willing to let things go, they will see that and continue to challenge you. We are not arguing about expectations. It's a line, a fine line I use often. If they continue to argue, I do not respond. I point to the door and have them wait for me outside. Um, we got about 10 more minutes and then I'm going to wrap this up. Everyone gets a sheet of paper when they come in tomorrow. Okay, Swordfish 8731 is saying this. Pass out the pencils. I love how one of my eyes be looking low. Anyway, pass out the pencils and assign the first graded writing assignment. Subject: why do you dislike or hate English class? How can you hate something that you haven't even tried yet, right? First day. You're asking for 2 paragraph spelling and punctuation count. The assignment get corrected with a red pen that day. You're really trying to make them hate you. Red pen. I don't have a phobia, but I do have I feel some type of way about them red pens. The assignment gets corrected with a red pen that day, and tomorrow you put each one on the document camera and projection screen. You trying to embarrass them? Cover up the names. Okay, good. And show the class what needed to be fixed. Now you have a starting point for what the ability level is and what the class needs to build skills. She's not asking how to teach her class. She's asking how to be respected. I'm pretty sure at this point she has a what do you call it, a lesson plan or a curriculum, but the curriculum does not include what to do unless you get that level up stars lesson plan, and then we help you deal with your little ones. And shout out to me for being a preschool teacher and all of y'all preschool teachers out there who make building a strong, respectful foundation in the youth so that when they go to school, you ain't come from us like that. You know what I mean? Don't judge me. My nose is the ring light. But yeah, for sure. Shout out to all the preschool teachers who take their job seriously and are very interested into instilling respect into children and love and care so that hopefully once they get to big school, as I like to call it, they can show some respect. Zappa Jelly says, oh no, this is a bad idea. I don't think OP should let the kids know that they are getting to him that much. Oh, it's a guy? I don't know. In my head, the dudes usually gets the most respect from the students. Guilt 685 no 785 says, sounds like you need a new job. The problem is the school and the administration more than likely. You might try private school teaching. The students tend to be polite. Dino Girl 59 says, be sure to keep them busy so that they don't have time for talking. That means from the moment they walk in, some classes need this. When the bell rings, always start your class. Have bell work ready to go. Don't be preparing or hemming and hawing when they come in. Be at the door. Greet each person and look them in the eye. Yeah. I told y'all in my last video, they smell fear. Snow Owls 1186 says, I learned a little method from behaviorism. List the student name on the board in small print. Every time they do something inappropriate, make tally marks. Keep sticky, you're clearly not a teacher, but keep sticky notes available. A lot of grammatical errors. So you can write down what was done or said in a short way. Keep going back to your lesson. Randomly reward students that are doing something positive, a sticker or a small candy, but check for allergies. It's junior high. Even though candy and stickers do work, even in junior high and high school, they still want it. For me, I use candy for potty training, and while at home, a kid might be able to eat a whole pack of fruit snacks. Here in my school, they only get like 1 to 2. And the way that I do that is if they're dry and they go to the potty on their own, they get 2 fruit snacks. Now, it might not sound like a lot, but to them it's a lot because you don't get candy in school, so that might just work. But I would give one for staying dry and one for going to the potty. So they get two fruit snacks every time they go and every time they stay dry. Now, if they have an accident but they go to the potty, well, they only get one. And they really want that too. So it works wonders for me. But I do understand teachers not wanting to reward behavior that should already be behavior. Um, I drank paint water. Sounds like a skill issue for them. Uh, Pool B says, "You're like 12. I don't care what you think about me. If you swear again, you're going to the office." I work at a middle school for years. I worked at a middle school for years. You really had to make them believe you don't care what they think. And I think that is that age because I remember asking my children, like, what do y'all think? Am I like the best mom? Because I'm trying over here, but again, I get busy. And they was like, well, you could. And I was like, why did I ask y'all? You can't care what they think. And now they think I'm like awesome because I don't care. I do, but I don't. We just have a few more minutes. I'm gonna read a few more posts and then I'm going to wrap this up. To all my tens of friends that missed me, sorry you did. I will be back tomorrow. Probably gonna do a post stating that I will be here every day this week with a to read Reddits with you all. Lab 3456 says, "It's not about you. Change careers." And I mean it. Why weren't they downvoted? Because what you mean? It's funny how the OP is not really responding to any of this though. But Flanky Tangerine 4142 says, "Do you have anyone you can turn to at your site, like like with uh like with Janine on Abbott Elementary? What's her girl name? Miss Howard. She go to Miss Howard for everything. Why? Because Miss Howard is seasoned and Miss Howard knows that, you just need to do X, Y, and Z. And yeah. So I mean, this genuinely, not in a shady way, but would be more helpful than a context Reddit forum, I think. Everybody, why do people keep going on Reddit talking about why you telling us? Why are you reading it? Why are you replying it? They're telling us because I'm telling y'all. And if I'm telling y'all, and a lot of people did come with great replies and great advice, clearly the OP can learn and gain something from posting this on Reddit. So the people that be like, why you put this on Reddit? Get off of Reddit, okay? This is the year 2026. Everything goes on the internet. But uh unusual function 7567 says, I'm looking at the time. We 58 minutes in, and I have 3% left on my phone. I think we'll make it to an hour. But unusual function 7567 says, don't worry, your issues are not uncommon for new teachers. I a few words of advice. Stand firm and do not bend for a few weeks. Do not try to be the cool, well liked, no, for real, teacher. You will learn in time how to be firm and respected. It's more important to be respected than liked. Facts. Make sure to have your classroom expectations and procedures posted and reviewed. We have 90-minute class periods, and I spend at least 2/3 of the first week going over those. We go over them in depth one day and review the rest of the week until they hear them in their dreams. I have them posted on each of the walls in the classroom and twice on either side of the board in the front. For discipline, I hope you have a supportive admin, but the first step is calling parents. I know it's exhaustive and time consuming, but they are your first line of defense and gives you some accountability that you're doing what you can without involving admin at first. Have a log and document your calls. This will be important if you have an enabling parent who says You never let them know about the issues with their child. Your routines and expectations in the first few weeks are going to be more important than relationships. I'm less of a people person than others, so my class is built on structure and respect. I don't yell. I do review and reiterate expectations. I don't take things personal, which can be hard, but I clearly draw the line. I will not back down and will carry out consequences. If needed, I can have a conversation with them if they were having a bad day or something going on I was unaware of. And sometimes that's the case, so I do appreciate her or him caring that much. If needed, I can have a conversation with them if they were having a bad day or something else was going on that I was unaware of. Sorry, I digress. But communicate, post, and enforce your expectations. Then call parents. After that, detention, referral, whatever your school has as an escalating consequence. You need to be respected, not feared or liked. Keep it professional, and the rest will come in time. The first few years are the hardest. Hang in there. Facts. We're at the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. But before I go, I will say that um, time does help with teaching, and do look to the other teachers for what you can do to um, be more effective in the classroom. And I will also say find a way to enjoy every day. If you're in junior high, I do believe that you get breaks. So if that one teacher that or that one kid in that class is saying, I hate you, at least the ones in the next class may not. Um, Again, shout out to all my teachers. Have a happy school year. Thank you for all that you do. This is not an easy job. I will post again tomorrow, somewhere around this time. And you all can see me in the next one or go to my channel. It's a lot on there. Bye, 10. That's a finger heart. How I turn this off? Is that it?